Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passion World Talk Radio Network, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network, LLC, to educate, to enlighten, to entertain. And today we're going to talk about how people in other countries are being scammed through the use of their credit cards, not only in the United States. Today, this story centers around South Africa. But more importantly, the people who are involved with today's article also tell you what red flags to look out for, and more importantly, how to deal with it. So if you do get scammed while using your credit cards and somebody else manages to hack into it, you'll know what to do immediately instead of running around in circles and wringing your hands. So in South Africa, most of the citizens there have decided to use credit and credit cards to help them meet their expenses while they're surviving or living, if you want to put it that way, or running a business. Unfortunately for the South Africans, so do the scammers look at using credit and credit cards to get the cash that honest people worked long hours to be earning so that they can pay for their necessities. The solution, though, is to take both proactive and reactive measures to outsmart these scammers or swindlers, if you want to put it that way, and protect your valuable information and hard-earned money from being taken or stolen from you. The latest crime stats from South African Banking Risk Information Center revealed a highly complex financial fraud landscape. Criminals are becoming increasingly sophisticated because of the use of artificial intelligence in their attacks. While card fraud saw an encouraging 18.4% decrease overall, digital banking fraud saw an alarming 36% surge, with financial losses per incident increasing by 9%. That's a lot. According to Leon Chief Information, last name Jacobs, officer at RCS, this quote reflects how financial fraud has changed with the move towards digital transacting. As a retail consumer finance provider, we put measures in place to protect customers from falling prey to scammers' tactics. In addition, Mr. Jacobs goes on to say, we have ramped up our efforts to empower South Africans with the knowledge they need to protect themselves, both in terms of their cards and passwords, as well as their online behavior. Our security efforts, plus greater awareness from customers, results in an airtight system that can stop frauders/scammers in their tracks. So an important part of making credit work for you, the consumer, involves getting smart about financial crime. This involves taking a few simple steps, which can make a big difference in terms of preventing unnecessary financial losses, hassles, and yes, emotional stress. I'm still stressing out about how much money I lost to my recent scam in April. So these are some of the things that they suggest. Number one, focus specifically on what to do to avoid being defrauded when using credit cards or applying for a loan. And Mr. Jacobs suggests the following safeguards. Stay in the safe zone when applying for a loan. Now, a latest loan scam involves inviting you to apply for a loan and asking for an advance fee. The scamster takes your money and you never receive the loan amount. To avoid this scam, this is what you need to do. Pay attention. If you receive an email domain, it should be taken directly from the company making the offer. If it isn't, it's a red flag. Avoid any unsolicited offers from Gmail, Yahoo, or Outlook address. The number, if they offer, reaches you via SMS or a call from a personal number rather than a call center, it is most likely a fake. I hope you're taking this down. 3, the language. Look out for spelling errors and bad grammar, even if your offer contains the company's logo and looks otherwise legitimate. I was recently received through the mail, the U.S. mail, a form letter supposedly from the government of Michigan, where I re-brought up my company. And the letter accompanying this form told me there had been a mistake with my EIN number and that a code had been inappropriately used. And they wanted me to fill out the form and send them a check for $107. Now, there were 2 red flags that slapped me across the face. The first one was when I brought up my corporation in Michigan, I had a business lawyer do all the paperwork for me. Yes, I could have done it myself, but in the long run, I decided that it'd be better to have someone who knew what they were doing bring it up and apply for my EIN number all at the same time. And I know that lawyers don't make very many mistakes. That was my first red flag. My second red flag was that when I looked at the return envelope, it did not have any logos from the Pennsylvania government at all, state government. It was a plain white envelope with a return address that I was supposed to send the form. Oh, and did I forget to mention they wanted $107? So if you're suspicious, look it up through your state government and find out if you're going, to have problems with getting the amount of money that is asked for put through in a check. Lots of people don't use checks anymore, and using a cashier's check is just as dangerous. You'd probably be better if you used a postal check, a postal order. But before you do any of that, contact your government, state government, and find out. My EIN number is just fine. And to make sure, I contacted my CPA, certified public accountant, and scanned the form and sent him the JPEG, and he came back and told me it was fake. And yes, you do need to do this. There are too many people now that are announcing through the different news outlets, I've been scammed out of my life savings. I lost all my money, and the gentleman committed suicide because he no longer had the money to take care of himself because he was now retired. Don't act hastily. Don't be a Chicken Little. Don't allow the sky to fall down on you. Do your research, think, and then act. Beware of these 3 red flags. So let's reiterate. An undue sense of urgency. Scammers will often try to pressure or scare you into making a decision without really thinking it through properly. Preventive measure. Stop, take a deep breath, and think it through. If you have somebody you can call to ask them. It's not going to cost you your life savings or your Social Security check on a monthly basis. 2, an upfront fee to secure the loan. Legitimate credit providers will never ask for an advance fee. 3, lack of background checks. Legitimate credit providers will always comply with the National Credit Act and do the relevant checks before approving any loan. This is for your safety as well as theirs. An audit trail, ladies and gentlemen. Credit fraud prevention tips. With more South Africans transacting via credit, scammers are high alert to catch unsuspecting victims. The most common cyber attacks involve credit are phishing, phishing, via email, and smishing, smishing, via SMS. Both are fraudulent offers where a fraudster contacts you to try to trick you into sharing your confidential or personal information so that they can access your account. If somebody's asking you for your personal information, find out if they really need it. Don't quarrel with them. Go contact your attorney general and find out the information is out there, ladies and gentlemen. Take advantage of it. When using any form of credit, keep this checklist handy. Always double check your transactions by making a habit of reviewing your monthly statements against your slips. Only shop on secure online websites. That's HTTPS. Guarantees that it's secure. Look out for the lock icon in the browser bar and always ensure that you make transaction using a safe and secure Wi-Fi network. Conducting transactions on open public Wi-Fi networks should be avoided. Never, ever disclose your PIN, confidential information, or OTP to anyone over the phone or via email. And if you do, you need to report this immediately if your credit card is lost or stolen. Although many credit card companies say it's the first $30 they're responsible for, don't push your luck. Contact them immediately. And anybody else you may be paying with that card, that you have canceled it and you're getting a new one, and to stop using the old one immediately. If you receive a transaction notification via SMS without having transacted, in other words, they may tell you you ordered something and you're being charged, and I was told just to delete it. Don't get started. If you don't recognize it, you probably didn't buy it. So you don't have an order coming in for it, confirming it. If you receive an OTP on your phone without having transacted, same thing, delete it, get rid of it. If you can spot credit card scams immediately, then do it, because they try to attack you, approach you when you're off guard. You have other things on your mind. However, as Mr. Jacobs advises, the general rule of thumb is that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. He finishes with, stay sharp, stay informed, and make smart decisions. Vigilance is your best defense against financial fraud. So take heed, take notes, put it by where your cell phone is or where your landline is, and make sure every member of your family from 9 years old and up understands what they need to do to protect themselves and the rest of the family from being scammed. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. This program, Scam Damnation, is brought to you by the podcast Obstacle Training Course. Please look it up on our website, https, a secure site, educate.passionateworldtalkradio.com/masterclass, and by Ruby, rubi.ai. Check out our link, https, a secure website, esc73.try, T-R-Y, Ruby, RUBI.ai. Thank you very much for listening. You can see this on youtube.com/PWR Network, PW Talk Radio. Also at https://passionateworldtalkradio.com, facebook.com/passionateworldradio, linkedin.com/Lillian_Cauldwell. Thank you all very much for listening. And remember, stay tuned for the latest scam damnation.